We're live, right? Can we do a few audio checks? My microphone had defaulted to the internal mic. Again, I've just checked it quickly, and I've just switched it onto the new mic that Richard Butler bought me. Again, big up Richard Butler, thank you. Appreciate that. Right, we're going to have a quick look at what's going on in Portugal. Now, I'm sorry I'm late. I've had a mad rush again. The amount of animals that are coming here now is getting completely overwhelming. It's taking me an hour each evening to do everything, so I'm sorry I'm late. I'm not feeling 100% today. I've got a bit of a temperature. I haven't been poorly for a while, but I've got a bit of a temperature, so we're going to probably just keep it on a shorter one. I do want to talk about these blackouts. They're not releasing much about it. They're trying to blame it on the Russians. My first thought was net zero is, we need to look into what the grids have gone down, what is causing the grids to go down. Are they relying on fossil fuel? You can hear all the blackbirds, can't you? They're really loud. I'm not outside, but I'm sat by my window and the window's open. So if you can hear birds, that's what it is. By the way, welcome everybody. I appreciate you guys for coming in. Yeah, Mr. B, definitely. We need to all sort cash out. I'm sorry to hear that, Brum Vixen. Hello, everybody. I really appreciate everyone for being here. I'm not going to do my individual hellos. I just want to get on with the stream. But hello and welcome, everybody, especially the members. Big up the members. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's cash is king, and it's making people realize that hi Andy, is that you, Andy Cruz? God, I've not seen you for ages. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Yeah, so we all need to get some cash. We all forget, we rely on digital stuff so much, but it just goes to show that cash really is important. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. I was unsubbed on this channel. Let me just resub you. Done. Let me give you a spanner. Done. Right, okay. Welcome, everybody. Please hit the like if you enjoy the content. Dislike if you don't. 33 watching. Illuminati confirmed. Right, then. So what's going on in Portugal is insane. Right, and it's not just Portugal, it's parts of Spain, it's the major cities, and also parts of France as well have been hit by this. Now, they're saying that the grid is down. So if you haven't heard about it, let's just get some details up. Hang on. Thank you. What's that? What's that? Crisps.
Maybe.
Knickknacks. Knickknacks.
I don't know. Maybe. Possibly.
Thank you.
Maybe.
They still taste the same, do they? Oh, is it your first pack? Okay. Right. Okay. So let me just get some more details on what is going on in Portugal. So when I'm saying there's been a blackout, I'm not just talking about lights. I'm talking trains. Nothing. No stores are working. Your card's not working. The buses and everything. They must have a lot of electric vehicles over there. Now, they've declared a state of emergency. Let me just get the article up. Just bear with me. You can see I'm not organised at all. To be honest with you, I really wanted to cover this tonight because it's such a breaking story, but I really didn't feel like it because I feel like that. But anyway, okay, so I'm using the BBC because of the lack of ads. That's the only reason. So this is Spain and Portugal. So Spain has declared a state of emergency. Portugal struggles with power cuts and transport chaos. So your aeroplanes have gone down. Your trains are down. Hospitals, you can't buy anything unless you've got cash. It is absolute chaos there. Now, the first headline I read about this morning was, I'm guessing you can all guess. Hi, everybody. How you all doing? Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Brum. Hi, everyone. I'm guessing you guys know what what the mainstream media said. I'm gonna let you guys put it in the chat. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna let 3 guesses. what the first thing that the mainstream media blamed, literally the first thing this morning, whenever this broke, was the let's have a look at the chat. Has anyone got it yet? No one's got it yet. Oh my goodness. Okay. The first thing that they blamed, no, not the sun. 4 candles. There we go. Alan Edge and Lee have got it. They blamed it on Russia. Russia. Let me show you this. Of course. It was the front page of the Sun this morning. The first thing. Oh, what's this? Ads. I don't like ads. Right, let's just make this bigger. Okay, this is in the Hindustan Times, but it was all across the media this morning. Cyber attack in Spain and Portugal. Is Russia behind the sudden power outage leading to blackouts? Okay, this was the first thing that they jumped on. It must be that pesky Putin and Russia. Now, I personally believe that this net zero has got something to do with this, and it's coming here. But it goes on. It faced major power outages that disrupted hospitals, factories, nuclear power plants. How scary is that? How scary is that? That nuclear power plants, of course, Alejandro. Yeah. Yes, Amethyst. Really, they're blaming it on Russia. So traffic light, you don't think about it, do you? All of these things that we rely on that you just don't think about. It's not just about the money, and your transactions. People don't realize it's absolutely everything. Transportation systems, nothing worked. And my first thought was, I'm not going to lie, net zero. How much of Russia is part of net zero? I'm just picked this up for an example, but we will look at some UK media as well. So it was early Monday afternoon when many areas of the Iberian Peninsula remained without electricity. Reports of outages extending from Madrid to Lisbon. Director of Spanish Transmission System Operator, I can't even say that, said a very strong oscillation in the electrical network led to the country's power system to disconnect from the European system. So that just shows how much Spain, parts of France and Portugal rely on the rest of Europe for their power. Oh, thank you, Close to 7. Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Joining the membership. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. There was a lot of free memberships given out by the lovely Jan that are probably ending now. So if you want to rejoin, you can. It's totally up to you. So they're looking at 6 to 7 hours. Now, that was earlier on today. So let me just get the rest of the headlines in the UK that were blaming it onto Russia. Just hold on. I still can't get my head around, well, I can actually, that they are admitting now that they're going to be shutting out the sun. They've been doing it anyway, right? We know that they've been doing this for years. There is a lot of crazy things happening, Matt. Welcome to the live stream. And again, thank you to everyone who's here. Appreciate you guys. God, I'm so hot today. I feel like really burning up. Right, so Spain has declared a national emergency. Panic buyers have stripped the shelves bare. Now they've removed the headline. It was this morning. Earlier on, it said Russia across the entire of the red tops. They've changed it slightly. So airports and hospitals shut down. Trains screeched to a halt across the peninsula, with officials blaming. Here we go. They've changed it from Russia to a rare atmospheric phenomenon. Right. Okay. Now, what was we talking about at the beginning of this year? Hi, Danny. Do you guys remember? I didn't think of this. But if you remember at the beginning of this year, with all of the Northern Lights, do you remember the Great Carrington event? We've covered this before. Now, the Great Carrington event was like, I think it was around 100 or so years ago, top of my head now, because it's been a while since we covered it. And these solar flares from the sun caused northern lights as far down as Mexico. Okay. Now, usually they're just in the northern hemisphere. Thank you. 1885. How you doing, Daniel? Let me just give you a spanner, bud. Yeah. So we've covered this before. Do you remember, Lovely Jubbly? And they were talking about this. They were talking about something like this happening. And when it happened in 1895, was it? Because everything wasn't run on digital then. There was no digital. There was not much electricity, but there was some. Everything shut out, total blackouts. Right now, I've been saying for a while that we are in a solar maximum, and I don't know about you guys, but my phone pings daily now with yellow or orange or red chance of seeing the northern lights, because like a little alert system. There's a lot going on with the sun. Okay. And do you remember when we had that one last year? We had one in April, and then we had another in the summer where we had the most amazing display of the Aurora Borealis. Amazing display. For whatever reason, I think they lie about what causes it. I think there's a lot more to it. But they did say at the time, can you hear the blackbirds? They did say at the time that this could happen. So this could be the Great Carrington event Mark II. Okay. But this morning they were blaming it on the Russians, which is their go-to. I don't know yet. We need to do some more digging. My first thought was net zero. Because if they're running it all on wind and all this stuff, like you guys know what happened a couple of years ago in Germany in the winter, where it all failed because they had an extremely heavy winter. There was no sun, there was no wind, everything stopped working, and lo and behold, Germany, this was, I think it was around 2021, had to start buying oil and gas from, I think it was Russia at the time, before this proxy war nonsense. That is just, that's a whole new topic, because the amount of people that are dying in that war is just insane, considering that it isn't, there's no point to it. But anyway, I digress. And they bought a lot of oil and gas because none of it was working. So my first thought was, is this to do with net zero? But then they're now blaming it on a rare atmospheric phenomenon, which to me means it could be HAARP. Yeah. Do you not find it a little bit bizarre that they have been spraying, as we know, for God knows how long, and all of a sudden now they're admitting it, right? Just bear with me, right? This is what my curious mind is pinging here, folks. What if they've done this on purpose? Okay, bear with me. They're going to blame it on a Great Carrington event type thing, which is what we've got here, a rare atmospheric phenomenon, right? Then they're going to justify their blocking out the sun. There you go. It looks like we are getting somewhere now. Let me just see whether they're already linking a rare atmospheric event. Let me have a look. Right. Right, bear with me, folks. Bear with me. So when this happened, when the Great Carrington event happened, obviously it was such a long time ago. There's nobody alive that remembers it now. But it gave us the most amazing light displays, and it cut everything out. So there's one here. What happened when there is no power? This is from 2023 as well, right? So this isn't some new thing they're putting out. This article's from the August 2023. The Carrington event and space weather. Could it happen again? See? Is anybody else along my lines? Yeah, it's your mic. It's awesome. Yeah, I don't believe in coincidences either. So just bear with me a minute, right? Because you might think that I'm being a bit conspiratorial, but could a solar storm cause a catastrophic collapse of our power grid? We look back to the Carrington event of 1859 to assess the likelihood. In official government risk planning documents, space weather is one of the biggest threats that could cause the highest impact on UK infrastructure. It carries a very high grade on the latest National Risk Register, with a warning that a severe incident could cause widespread disruption to the electricity network. Now, what is space weather? It covers everything related to the sun. The sun orbiting Earth goes through an 11-year cycle. I'm not going to get into that, but it's a solar maximum and a solar minimum. Now, hi, shit show. Is that you, AC? Let me just check. No, you must have been gifted. You've been gifted as a membership, bud. How you doing? Oh, thank you. I still check in, to your streams. I don't comment because it's usually at stupid times. I'm too tired. But I usually just leave a like, and I'll say hello next time. How you doing, my friend? Take care, bud. Take care, AC. So now this is what can happen, right? Solar flares. So, high energy sunlight comprised of X-rays and ultraviolet light. Solar energetic particles, slower traveling, can produce a radiation storm. And this is what we think is what they're going to blame: coronal mass ejections. That is these solar flares that cause northern lights, a slower moving cloud of charged particles that builds up over several days before reaching the Earth's atmosphere. Now, something I have noticed. No, trust me, it's all good. It's actually mild compared to some of the streams I go in the UK. So that's all good. But take care, bud. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Let me just get into, where's the app gone? Right. Is this just a coincidence? But Aurora Watch has been building up for the past few months. There's been no significant activity at all for the last 2 days. Nothing. Is that because it's already all blasted out, or is that because of some other reason? I don't know. So we've got a little video here. I'm not going to show it because we might get copyright. So basically what happened was, when the Carrington event happened, it was the 1st of September, 1859, and nobody knew what was about to happen. Obviously, we didn't have all these warnings then. But a report published in the monthly notices of the Royal Astronomical Society. You need to come in because of the hedgehogs. It says here, my first impression was that by some chance a ray of light had penetrated a hole in the screen attached to the object glass. 2 patches of intensely bright and white light broke out. Right, that must have been in its telescope. 5 minutes later, its blinding lights vanished. Within hours, they were seen across the planet. An enormous solar flare traveling at more than 4 million miles per hour, containing the energy of 10 billion atomic bombs. That night, colourful auroras illuminated the sky. Sightings of the northern lights came as far down south as Cuba and Honolulu, while people in Santiago, Chile, were able to view the southern lights, which is Aurora Australis, which is what's down south. So it was claimed that people could read the newspaper print purely from the powerful light of the solar flare. So that was the Great Carrington event. Now, we have covered it before, so I'm not going to go into it again. Now, when they're saying in the newspaper that they think that this grid failure was caused by a rare atmospheric phenomenal. They are hinting at that happening again. Now, I find it a little bit suspicious that there's been zero activity whatsoever on my app for 2 days. If it had been caused by that, my app would have been pinging red. Anybody else got the app? So this happened today. What was it? Lunchtime. Let me just check my app. Right. So my app goes back as far as 9 o'clock last night, and there was no 0.0 activity coming from the sun. There was no solar flares. So they're going to try and blame it. Well, they already are. They're blaming it on this. Lies. Now, it was Russia this morning. This is actually part of Spain here. Look at this. There's nothing left. Supermarket shelves are empty. Obviously, that's not a very popular drink there because no other bugger wants it. And whatever that is. People are stockpiling. Now, you're going to get people stockpiling here as well. Shoppers in Spain and Portugal. They don't look very Spanish, do they? Panic buying. It's the people are going to start it here now, aren't they? Alarming pictures posted on social media show bare supermarket shelves after panic shopping sweat. There's no beer in Benidorm. Oh my goodness. Footage shows people forming huge queues outside grocery stores and ATMs. Now, I didn't think that the ATMs would be working, but there you go. I feel sorry for all the people that are over there on holiday as well. Road signs in parts of Spain, Portugal and France were left snarled. So they have removed the Russia. It was all over here earlier on. I wish I'd taken a bloody screenshot. So mobile phones, there has been a failure on the internet. Mobile phones aren't working. Data phones and ATMs. Card payments aren't working. You can't get cash out. National grid's gone. And they are now blaming this rare atmospheric event. So the fact that they were blaming Russia straight away just goes to show, doesn't it? Now, they're going to try and blame it on this solar flare, and they are going to try, watch this space, folks. They are going to try and justify this blocking out the sun nonsense. That is my prediction, what's coming, because there's been a massive backlash about that. And we are going to start to see them trying to justify blocking out the sun and saying that they have to do it because there's going to be a huge blackout. I think that's more likely what's happening. But as for them saying that it was Russia, you just couldn't make this up. Well, you could actually. Right, let me just get an update on what is going on today, whether we've got anything back or not. I'd say the best place to keep up to date is actually X, Twitter, or whatever you want to call it. Right, what are people saying in chat? Let's have a look. Why are they panic buying? I don't blame them. The plague, though, was nonsense. Oh, Tramadol's back. Shut up. No, I said I don't stream as much. I didn't say I don't stream at all. It does. It gets to the point where, you know, you need a little break, don't you? Right. So someone's put here, congratulations to Portugal and Spain for achieving net zero today. 0 emissions, 0 electricity, and 0 explanations. I like that one. As Spain and Portugal grapple with a catastrophic electricity grid failure, UK's wind power has come out in sympathy. At midnight, it made 35% of our electricity. Right now, about 7%. Unreliable, uncontrollable, unpredictable, unfit for purpose. I totally and utterly agree. So it does look like people on X, this is all as latest here, are actually... I uploaded this video as well. Okay. Across it, but this is another version of that. Now, this is a train. Absolutely nothing. Look at that. It's crazy to think that a train that big can just stop. Just completely stop. So it looks to me like a lot of people are blaming it on net zero. I'm just having a look now. The current widespread power outages highlight the huge importance of cash. I totally and utterly agree. We need cash. Right, what are people saying in chat? Let's have a gander. They're lucky it's nice weather. I'm ready. I've got a bucket of MRE. I don't know what MREs is from Costco. Ring on the Apocalypse. I watch a guy on YouTube called Stephen Burns. Do you remember that guy used to do? I forgot what his name was now. Hi, Timmy's Pipcoat. How you doing? Hi, Bridget. I don't blame them for panic buying. Thing is, it's human nature, isn't it? You know. Yeah, that's very true, Amethyst, about the school kids who can't get home. Very, very true. Hello, my George. So I'm just checking out what the latest is. What was this? An hour ago. Right, here we go. So they're claiming that it's affected Portugal. It's caused by a fault in the Spanish electricity grid related to a rare atmospheric phenomenon. Okay, they're saying due to extreme temperature variations in Spain, there were anomalous oscillations in very high voltage lines. It says it is known as induced atmospheric variation, which in turn led to oscillations. This led to successive disturbances. So that's the official one, and they know that that doesn't make any sense and that nobody will understand what that means. They've stopped blaming Russia. I find that really intriguing, that they're not blaming Russia anymore. It's their instant go-to, long queues at ATMs. The thing is, how would you even get any money out of an ATM if the ATMs aren't working? EU citizens told to prepare 72 hours of supplies, and then WEF's Klaus Schwab stands down. Today, the largest blackout in the history occurred, affecting Spain and Portugal. Consider this a warning shot. Yeah, Klaus Schwab has gone. A bus driver makes a video about the reality of some major areas of Portugal. This is all of Europe right now. So why aren't the buses working then? Are they saying that they're electric? Look at this. Are they saying that they're electric vehicles, or they're just? I don't understand, because. Sorry. Oh right, I'm just listening to what AI is saying now. Look at this. I'm just going to drink some tea. Madness. Again, I'm not seeing many Spanish people. What happened to Spain? It doesn't look like Spain, does it? They're all just pushing past, man. This poor woman. What's she doing here? She's got a bag stuck in the door or something. Come on. One Spanish person. What's going on, folks? Yeah. What's going on? This is not Spain. No one's paying. What's going on here? I've not seen this video. I'm trying to work out what's going on. Have you noticed that the only two people that have tried to even pay are Spanish? And look at the people outside, the Spanish people. All this lot here just push their way on. If I was that bus driver, I wouldn't have even opened them doors. Look at it. She looks well peed off, don't she? You need to come in. The hedgehogs are due. How's outside with the hedgehogs? Yeah, I can confirm, folks, there's been no... I'm just going to turn this down a bit because we can't understand them anyway. They can't shut the door, look. There has been 0 solar flares. So when they try and blame it on the Northern Lights, there hasn't been any. I don't know. All I know is that this is coming up. Well, this was posted an hour ago on Twitter to do with the blackout, but it looks to me like this bus isn't moving. Let me just read what it says. Right, so I don't know why that's related to this. I don't know. Electricity is down in all of Spain, Portugal, and parts of France. Welcome to Europe 2025, where the fragility of modern life becomes more evident. So, obviously, let's get fixed before sheer chaos erupts, and hope this will make people think twice about net zero. Obviously, we don't have any more details, but we know that this is going on. To blame it on a rare atmospheric phenomenon is just nonsense. Let's have a look at this video here. We're just having a quick gander. Like I say, we're having a bit of a look, see what's going on with this. Is this us next? Do you remember when a few weeks ago this says we should all have like 2 days worth of food and stuff? I agree, Stephen. Hello, everybody coming. I'm sorry I've not done my individual hellos. I think it's Portugal. Exactly, I agree, Alan Edge. You literally imported the third world, and that's what you get, and that's what's happening. And it's not racist, it's a fact. You know, I'm not talking about people that are born here and, you know, British way of life. It is frustrating. It really is. Yeah, there was. Hi, Karen. There was a press release. Was it a couple of weeks ago that we should all stock up on stuff? Oh, transistor radios. Yeah, maybe. But honestly, let me just, hi, Kaz, let me just bear with me a minute. And we're going to watch this video, but I also want to try and have a look and see if I can find this Russia stuff that they said. Can you imagine walking down there, though? Can you imagine that? And it just suddenly started working, though. So let me just see if I can find this Russia stuff. Hang on. They've changed it. I should have gone live today, really, while it was all happening. They were blaming it on Russia. The internet's been wiped. Has anybody got any? Did anybody archive anything to do with Russia today? Because they have literally wiped the internet. I think everyone is just sick to death of this constant blame Russia. It's nonsense. There's no evidence for it whatsoever. So they're blaming it on, they are blaming the whole thing on this phenomenon that is, they're blaming it on. Now, like I said to you earlier, right, watch this space, folks, because I've got the app. Anyone now, download, if you can, download the what's it called? Hang on. It's called Aurora Watch, right? Download the Aurora Watch app. There has been no, zero, nada. Let me take a screenshot. Hang on. There's been no solar flares, folks. And I can prove it. So when did this supposedly happen? Early hours. Was it the early morning? Right, okay. Right, screenshot. Okay, incoming. Burning up. I think my Gene Hackman update will have to be on its own show. So we'll be having a little look at this, and then we'll be having a little look at anything on the Virginia Giuffre, and then I'll probably do a separate stream tomorrow night with the latest on the Gene Hackman, because there's been some more body cam footage released that I was going to talk about tonight, but I think we'll wait now. So hang on, just bear with me. I've saved this because we know they're blaming it on this. They're trying to blame it on something that we know is just total tosh. But they've had to immediately get rid of the Russia nonsense. Right, let me just get this up. This is just a bit of proof that they're blaming it on something that didn't happen. Right, hold on. All installed. Yeah, get on it, folks. Trust me, get on this. Right, I've had this app for about a year or two. So what happens is that whenever anything happens, you get like a little thing. So you get like a green, a yellow, an amber, and a red. Now, in the last few months, my app has been pinging every single day. It's never below yellow. It's usually on amber or red. Now, I've noticed the last 48 hours, there's been nothing. It's been green, which is really bizarre, but there you go. So they're blaming it on, they're going to call it like a Great Carrington Event Mark II. They're calling it on rare atmospheric phenomenon, i.e. solar flares, that they're going to need to block out the sun for. So this is today. Yeah, look, I've just screenshot up to 2 o'clock, but I can screenshot it all if you want. Not early afternoon, apparently. There's no significant activity. When it's on red, these numbers have to be above, I think it's 200. At one point, we had these numbers at 1,600 at one point last year, when we had the amazing display in April 2024 of these lights, okay? Even when it was at 1,600, nothing broke, nothing stopped working. There was no blackouts or power outs or anything like that. So how on earth is it at green at these little numbers here? And at some point there was at 0 at some points yesterday. I haven't got the screenshot on me now, but this was at even nothing. They cannot blame it on a Great Carrington Event Mark II. For that to happen, these numbers would have to be in their tens of thousands. Okay, so just I call bull crap on that. Now, let's not forget it was Russia this morning. They blamed it on Russia. Now they're blaming it on the solar flares. Yeah, they sure are. They sure are. But they're already doing it, guys. They're already doing it. They're not. They're just saying that because everyone knows it's happening. It's all over. You can see it with your eyes. You can see it with your own eyes, right? So what they've done now, they've bought out. Oh, let me just get an article up and I'll show you. It's just absolute nonsense. They're already doing it. They're not like gonna start doing it. They're already doing it. So the Centre of Climate Repair, hold on a minute. Look at this, okay? I'm digressing slightly, but this is all linked to these blackouts. So they've already been doing this, but because we all know and we're calling them out on it, they're having to admit it now. UK to fund, remember, we've got no money, folks. We can't afford to help our pensioners out by £200 a year, right? So we're virtually bankrupt. We've got no money, but we're okay to fund this, apparently. Now, I think that these blackouts are all linked to this nonsense now, okay? They've been doing it anyway. It is no longer a conspiracy. It's there. The UK government has announced a new funding for scientists to conduct outdoor experiments on solar geoengineering. They've always been doing it, folks. But now they're telling us 56.8 million will be awarded to research. So let's not forget the family farm tax. The putting farmers out of business and our food security in this country, that they're building on all the land. This government are the worst. I just didn't think there could ever be anything worse than Tony Blair. All right, so they're already doing it, folks, and you can see it with your own eyes every day. But they're going to gaslight you that they're just starting it now. So they've given over nearly 57 million to these people, Advanced Research and Invention Agency, with the aim of filling knowledge gaps on the mechanisms and effects of various methods to cool the earth. The UK hardly has any sun. We don't get much sun at all, right? You couldn't make this shit up, folks. You know, we're one of the most rainiest countries in the world. It rains all the bloody time. And out of all of the places you could do this, you know, why not test it on like Africa and, you know, really hot countries? No, they're going to do it to us and make us even more gloomy. But like I say, they've been doing this. They have been doing this for years and years and years. I point it out to you most days when I go live. If I'm live outside, I will show you the sky. So they're doing these studies. This program will explore the critical unanswered questions as to how or whether we might cool the earth. Yes. Okay, now. So this is from the University of Cambridge, who apparently, this is where all this is happening. When the call for proposals was announced last year, Dr. Sean Fitzgerald, I would like to know more about this person, from the Centre for Climate Repair. Okay. At the University of Cambridge wrote, this is a significant milestone as it demonstrates the government's recognition of geoengineering as a vital area of research that has been underfunded. You couldn't make this shit up, folks. It's there in black and white. Right, so let's just have a little gander. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do this. Centre for Climate Repair. Let's have a little look into you. So who's funding you? At the end of the day, this government don't need to fund these things, because we all know that they're being funded by your Soros. Hello, Georgie. Your Soros, your Bill Gates. Right. So why are our government, with taxpayers' money, paying for it? Right, just bear with me a minute, folks. I'm just having a quick gander at something. All right. I'll be back. Remember, they've already done these studies. They don't need to do any more studies. Oh, look. Oh, look. Right, so we've got this. Right, so this Centre for Climate what was it? Centre for Climate Repair at Cambridge, that apparently needs our funding, taxpayer funding. Right. And listen, guys, I know you're probably thinking I'm digressing. I'm not, because all of this is linked, in my opinion. Now, this was done on this article here is right. Go on, we just see when this was from. Doesn't say. But this was around 2021. Yeah, joining the dots, exactly. Space Cat. Hello, by the way. Researchers from the University of Cambridge that apparently they're just looking into it now, folks. This article doesn't exist in the past. Have analysed, listen to this, more than 800,000 tweets. So they're using AI to look at what we're talking about on the internet. Yeah. And found that negative emotions expressed about geoengineering. The idea that the climate can be altered using technology can easily fall into conspiracy. They're actually telling us here that they're using AI against us, and they're checking our tweets. Without a huge, there's no need for 77 Brigade anymore, folks. They're doing it all with AI. And they found out that when we're talking about it, it's negative, you think. The researchers analysed tweets from 2009 to 2021. Notice how after that time they're not doing it, because that's when Musk took over, and I bet you wouldn't. This is when they were run by the lefties. Tagged with hashtag geoengineering. So if you hashtag geoengineering, you've on the Twitter, you've been analysed by these people. They used a combination of natural language processing, deep learning, and network analysis to explore how public emotions, perceptions, and attitudes changed over a 13-year period. The researchers found that a large amount of spillover between geoengineering and conspiracy theories, especially around the I can't say the word because the YouTube don't like it, and then the trail. A conspiracy theory dating back to the 90s. It's all a conspiracy theory, guys. None of this is in front of your face. It's not happening. It's all in your head. So they've looked at negative emotions. Now, as the climate crisis worsens, the search for solutions has accelerated. So they're talking about these ideas of this. Now, the amount of funding that's been made available for geoengineering, especially outdoor experiments, is tiny, said first author Dr. Ramit Debnath at Cambridge Zero, fellow at the University of Cambridge. When you ask funders why this is, The reason often given is that the research is too controversial, right? It's too controversial, but it's okay for our government to use taxpayers' money on it. Okay. Director of the Centre for Climate Repair at Cambridge, Department of Engineering. All right. So they're talking about the bad news. Now, let's have a little look down here. The research was supported in part by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Cambridge Centre for Climate Repair, Cambridge Zero, and Quadrature Climate Foundation, and the Google Cloud Climate Innovation Challenge Award. This is part of an ongoing project co-led by this Dr. Ramit. We need to look into this person with Cambridge Zero on improving public understanding. So basically, this is now a common purpose stroke behavioral science. They see that the public are negative about it because they've used AI. They're telling us here, folks. This is our Cambridge page, by the way. This isn't some conspiratorial website that I'm on here. Look. Where's the little thing gone? Can't find it. This is on cam.ac.uk. This is on the Cambridge University website. You couldn't make this shit up. Right? The researchers say their study provides a data-driven glimpse into the structure of online climate misinformation that has a strong contagion effect, leading to strengthening of conspiracy theories in the public domain. Understanding such links with respect to climate action is critical for the design of counteraction strategies. So this person here, right, is part of the Cambridge University, and the research has already been done. So why are our government using taxpayers' money funding this research when it has already been done using Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation money? Okay, 2023. You got to wonder why, haven't you? I knew as soon as I put in this climate, what was it? What was it called again? Climate repair nonsense. Yeah. University of Cambridge. You can check it all out for yourself. I'll put the link in. So it is all linked, folks. This is not a coincidence that only last week. Oh, it's not become a clicky link, has it? That's a shame. Why has it done that? Sorry, guys, it's not become clickable. Try the top one. It's not a coincidence that this is happening now. It's not a coincidence, folks. So Bill and Melinda Gates have already funded it. Let me just see what else. Now, you guys might remember me talking about this a few years ago in 2021. I actually spoke about this at the time. I think I actually made a video on it. There you go. Bill Gates' venture aims to spray dust into the atmosphere to block the sun. What could go wrong? It's already, look, January, the 11th of Jan, 2021. See? This is already happening. They've already done it. Why is our government getting involved? He's financially backing the development of sun dimming technology. They've already done it. It's already been invented. They're already using it. They're using what they're saying is a non-toxic calcium carbonate dust into the atmosphere. This is on Forbes, guys. All right. This isn't some conspiracy website. So I don't know what you guys think of this. I just find it a little bit of a coincidence that they're talking about this. The UK government are going to be funding this, and lo and behold, they're going to now say, look, if we don't do this, then this atmospheric rare, what do they call it? A rare atmospheric phenomenon is going to happen, and we're going to get blackouts. I don't know what you guys think of this. Hi, English Bob. Unfortunately, it is. Hi, Mr. Steve. Nick Tez was funded by JP Morgan when it said free electric, the funding was stopped and the paperwork stolen. Yeah, by Jeff. Apparently by Trump's dad or no, granddad or uncle. No, uncle. So all I can tell you, folks, is these blackouts, there's too much coincidences for my liking, right? And they were blaming Russia. That's gone. They've stopped blaming Russia now. Do you know, I can't find the article where they blamed Russia. That's really pissing me off now. We just go back and find the earlier articles. I bet they all say that they've been amended. Watch. Just bear with me a sec. Yeah, they've all been amended. They've all gone. So the articles from 9 hours ago have now been updated. So, but they were blaming Russia. It was a main headline. Got some more video. I think we'll just leave this stream for just this topic, and I'll do my update separately on my Gene Hackman stuff. This is in The Guardian, but it's not footage that they filmed. Look, so this is Spain and Portugal. You should be able to see this.
Colocando esta zona, pero los pasillos están vacíos. Esta es la imagen.
That tunnel. Metro system. Traffic lights. Look at this.
I didn't sleep that well last night, so maybe I just need to not get a lot of sleep.
Yeah, apparently one of the tennis events as well were cancelled. Yeah, Madrid Open, look, see? Hang on a minute. Hang on. How was that board working then? Look. How's that working if there's no electric? That's madness though, isn't it? Look at that.
Yo solo tenía que... Pero por si acaso, cosas que no se caduquen rápido, conserva, un poquito de por si acaso. No sé, ya llevamos un rato sin...
Anyone noticed how all the Spanish people aren't really obese like over here?
Electricidad, entonces...
They look pretty fit, don't they?
No sabemos cuánto...
There's going to be fat people everywhere, but they're just you look at America and the UK, your average person, they just seem to look... They definitely eat better, don't they, in Europe and stuff?
¿Cuánto tiempo vaya a hacer y pues lo que se vaya pudiendo comprar por el momento?
So, yeah, I know it's The Guardian, folks, but, I'm just giving you a little example of what's going on. Okay, let me see if there's any more videos. Just bear with me. Next time, if anything like this happens, I'm telling you, I'm going to jump on because they've literally wiped the internet of blaming Russia. Surely I can find it somewhere. Here we go. I found it. Let me just see. Hang on. Come on. No, they're knobheads. Now, let me just show you something. Like, look at this, folks. Hold on. Let me just show you this, so I'm not making this up. Right. I'm going to make it big, yeah? There's so much to discuss yet. I don't know if you can see this because it's quite dark. It's quite small. But there it says the sun, right? 10 hours ago. Just let me know. Can you guys read this here, right? 10 hours ago, right? Russia, see? Russia, I've just put the word Russia in as a search. They blamed it on Russia. It's there, see? But when you 10 hours ago, when you go into it now, it's been updated. That's where it said Russia. Look, updated tonight. They've got rid of the Russia word and they've changed it to this rare atmospheric phenomenon. When I came on earlier and I looked at the internet, all over the front pages of this was Russia have caused blackout in Spain and da-da-da-da-da. Hackers. That's what they said. DJ Rockford. You just couldn't make this up, could you? I'm annoyed at myself for not screenshotting it, you know. Oh, well, shit happens, doesn't it? Yeah, the Great Reset. Yeah. Remember, it's all a conspiracy, though, folks. It's not real. Hi, Blackjack. Hi, Nathan Penn. How you doing, guys? Thanks for joining, everybody. I know I've not said my individual hellos, but I want to welcome everyone. So we've just been having a little look through and seeing, you know, what else is going on. But I think people are starting to join the dots now. They're starting to join the dots that this is all linked to what I've been saying. Oh, look at this. Hang on. What's this? Yeah, I'm going to get off in a minute. We've been going for an hour. Gosh, it just flies, doesn't it? I'm going to do a separate stream on the other stuff. So look at this. This is 9 hours ago. Nearly all of Spain and Portugal are currently experiencing a blackout. The exact cause yet to be determined. Many years ago, I was involved in a risk assessment on power generators and learned about a black star in Australia. Look it up. Interesting. Terrifying, and has guided my thinking on energy security. The roads are absolute carnage. No traffic lights are working. All power is down. Businesses are being impacted. It's terrifying, and people will be stuck in elevators. Can you imagine being stuck in... Oh, it's gone small again. Hold on. Bloody hell. Sorry, folks. Imagine being stuck in an elevator, though. Everything is completely shut down, and then he's put a picture up, and it basically shows Spain and Portugal got 40% of their electricity from solar and wind in 2023. See, this is what I said this morning when I told Al about it. I said, you do realise that this is to do with net zero. Justin, mass blackouts in part of Spain. We've seen that one, haven't we? So it's worth keeping an eye on Twitter, because what I like about Twitter, yeah, look, 4 hours ago, it's okay, folks. It wasn't a cyber attack, because that's what they said, that brought down the grid. It was the weather, because they never had weather there before and didn't plan for it. There you go. So this is a quickly evolving story. What's this? Hang on. Oh, 7 hours ago. Look at this. I'm going to get a screenshot of this. Spain hit. This was on the 22nd of April. So last week. Look at this. Spain's grid ran entirely on renewable energy for the first time on April 16, with wind, solar and hydro meeting all peninsular electricity demand during a weekday. 5 days later, solar set a new record, generating all of that. I'm not going to say of instantaneous power, covering 78.6 of demand and 61.5 of the grid mix. 22nd of April 2025. Look, is this a coincidence, folks, that they were going for full net zero? There you go. So yeah, I think people, in my opinion, get cash if you can. If you have any money and you can afford to do it, cash. What's this? Is that the solar flares? Yeah, they're blaming it on the solar flares. No, 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 no. I've just shown you that there was no solar flares. Rare atmospheric phenomenon. Blackout Monday. Madness. Where's blackout in the US? We were lied to about 10 days of darkness. Are people still actually listening to the Q nonsense? Anyway, I'm going to get off, guys, because I don't know. I've just got a really headache and a hot. I'm hoping it's nothing. I got a £50 note. So what are people? Let me just do a quick poll. We like a little poll, don't we, on here? Right, you might hear a slight echo while I just get into my stream on my laptop. I'm getting better at getting rid of that. Right. Hit the like, guys, if you enjoy this. What caused? Let's give people the little choice to. If you're watching on the replay, we've got the replay crew. Let me know in the comments, what do you think caused this blackout? What is it going to be us next Monday? Is it going to be us next? Who knows? Oh man! And it didn't. Rum Vixen said she felt ill, but she said that's her ME. You see, it could be any number of my illnesses, but I don't like to talk about my illnesses because too many weirdos obsessed with me. Right. So what caused the blackouts? Right. So we've got Russia, which they did blame. They blamed it on a Russia cyber attack with no evidence. There's your proof. Zero evidence whatsoever, right? Zero evidence. But they just came out with it anyway. The weather. What else are we blaming again? We've got the weather. They're calling it a phenomenon. Can't spell that. Probably spelt it wrong. I don't know. I have spelt it wrong. It doesn't matter. You get the gist. I hate using my laptop because I like using my phone. What else have we got? Got cyber attack. We got the weather. What else are they blaming it on, folks? Climate change. Isn't that the weather though? And we're going to put what I think is causing it, which is net zero. Net zero. Right. And it won't let me do any more. I can't put a don't know and it won't let me. Okay. So get voting, folks. I know I've spelt something wrong, but you know, I'm sure you'll get over it. I've got a headache. Get voting. The don't know's gone. What are people saying in chat? You could say Zimbabwean people believe them. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I think that comes under the does that come under the net zero nonsense? Candles are always handy. Sweet freedom. Yeah, I think there's something going around, isn't there? It's a funny time of year though for it. I don't understand why they're doing this. They're evil. They don't they're not normal people. Okay, they're not normal. Let me just see if we've got any more videos. Has Elon Musk commented on this? Honestly, right, Twitter has got a lot more better since Elon Musk took over, whether you like him or not. It's what I like about it is he allows free speech now, whether you like him or not, and we can actually, people can have ideas, people can talk about whatever they want to talk about without having to worry about being censored, you know. Right, you just see if there's any more videos coming out of Spain. I feel really bad though, you know, for like, you imagine like if you're living there and you can't charge your phone. Can you imagine that? Like you're filming and you can't charge it. So this is why we all need to get solar panel chargers. So we've got another video here. We've got some videos coming out of Portugal and Spain. This is the traffic lights have stopped working. Look at this. Can you imagine being stuck in that? You got people trying to cross the road. Look at it. Wow. It's all right, Georgie. It's just a doggy. It's a pooch. You can hear a dog barking. He gets really upset. Just seeing what else. People are. It's a supermarket in Spain. Bless you. There's probably going to be a lot of people on holiday as well. You're all right, my George. It's just a doggy. It's not going to hurt you. Oh yeah, by the way, folks, completely and utterly unrelated, but I've had a horrendous
So here's
day
the
with
water aisle.
birds.
Bro, it's like a...
Look at this. Completely and utterly unrelated, but I've had two traumatic experiences today. The starlings were fledging over the road out of the eaves, and a crow got a baby, and I was trying to save it and I couldn't. And then a cat, this is why I don't like cats. It's obviously a cat because it's ripped a pigeon to pieces and just left it in the road. I've had two really bad experiences today, so I've been really sad all day. Just saying. Yeah. I know it's a cat because the sparrowhawk wouldn't be able to take one of these big fat wood pigeons that I feed. And if it was the red kite, it wouldn't have just ripped its head off and thrown it around and pulled its legs off. It would have just taken it. Anyway, sorry to bring the tone down. I've just been really upset all day.
The water aisle.
Look at this.
Bro, it's like a...
Thanks, lovely jubbly. I know people go, oh, it's natural. Well, yes and no. I said to Al, well, what if our dogs were walking down the road in a lead and a big dog came and ate my little Gizmo or my George? Would you say, oh, it's just nature? It's just annoying because I feed the birds. I've nurtured those little baby starlings by feeding their mummy every single day, and she takes the feed to them, and then see that really upset me today. I wanted to get a pellet gun today and take the crow out. Obviously I wouldn't, guys, before people start, but I felt like it.
So here's the water aisle.
Look at this. This is today in Spain, I think.
Apocalyptic. Completely empty. All the water is gone. Wow.
It's like the apocalypse, isn't it?
There's still a few there, but almost everything is gone. So, and that's Portugal. No water.
Portugal.
So here's the water aisle.
So these are just some of the videos that are coming out on... I know it's X, guys, but it's Twitter. I'm sorry. So what I believe we should be doing is coal, wood. Yeah, I'm really upset, Kaz. Honestly, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. People say, oh, you get over it. I'm sorry. Coal, wood, CB radios. I know they were really expensive, or transistor radios, cash. We need to go back before all of this crap came. Because in those days, right, in those days, in the olden, back in there, right, people traded stuff. So if you had no money, you traded, you know? And this is what people are trying to do now. They're trying to go back to like the old ways where there was a sense of community. You help people out. You know, if someone was struggling, you did something for them and they did something for you. There's a lady who used to be really good friends with on here. I don't know if she still comes around. I've not spoke to her for years and I can't remember her bloody name now. And she moved to Venezuela from the UK. She's actually from Birmingham originally, and she moved to Scotland. Can't remember her name. Terrible. And she moved to Venezuela and years ago. And when it was doing well, before it got really bad, she married and had a child there. So she just stayed there. And then all of the shit went down, and you know, they were in trouble. And the communist regime there, they listened to your phone calls. She couldn't really tell me anything on WhatsApp because she was, you know, they would listen. But what she did tell me is that after it went to shit, and she said that people weren't eating zoo animals, that was all lies by the media. But it went to shit. The communist government literally destroyed the country and there was no money. Inflation was through the roof. And she said, we've gone back to the old way. She said, so she can teach English. She used to be a teacher. So she would teach people, their children, English. And in return, they would give her milk from the cows. They would give her fresh water. They would go to the box of cornflakes was around £8 a box, which we're not at the time. This was back in like 2020. I remember saying to her, cornflakes are like £1.50 here, but look at it now. Look at what inflation has happened under the socialist government and the last conservative government that might as well have been a socialist government. Look how inflation has gone through the roof now. So she'd say cornflakes are like a real massive treat, and if she didn't taught enough children, she'd get a box of cornflakes. And that's what they did when money became like inflation to the point where like a pound is the equivalent to like 5,000 of something, like in China and that, and the Far East. You traded stuff, and that's where we're going to have to go. There's going to be a big reset at some point, and we're going to have to go back to that. So even when cash, because at some point cash will also become irrelevant, because you can't. What good is this bit of paper if you can't use it? If you can't, there's no banks anymore. What are you going to do with it? It's going to come back to we have to do stuff for things, you know. We have to help people out. And then you get stuff back in return. That's what I think is going to happen. And people say why? Well, that's because, in my opinion, everything gets reset. Everything. My local farmers don't grow what I like. In Dice's boat, I've missed a lot of this chat. So they make anything up. Yeah, honestly. They make stuff up, and there's your proof. The Russia cyber hack thing was baseless. Hi, Ferry. It was absolutely baseless. Can they? Well, look, we got some of them solar phone chargers years ago. They don't work. Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to get some planters for out the front. But then they spray the soil, though, Richard. Don't they? That's the problem. Nothing's truly organic. Dinner and bath by glow stick. People seem, yeah, they were happier. So, you know, anyway, I'm going to go because I'm moaning now. And I don't like moaning, you know, but we've spoken a bit about this. I've showed you a few videos. Yeah, hang on a minute. Look. I just found a funny picture. This obviously came out when they were blaming it onto Russia. Look, it was Putin. It was all Putin's fault. It was all his fault. He did it all. So I haven't got to cover the Jew fray, but I'm going to aim to stream tomorrow night. Can't guarantee, but I'm going to aim to, because there's been a little bit more. We've had the final autopsy of Gene Hackman and his wife, and there's not much new in there from their nonsense they came out with about this hantavirus. Because I think they've realised that it was absolutely baseless. And today, Russia have declared another ceasefire. So the media gassing up Russia is just going to cause more war. And I think that they really thought to themselves, hang on a minute, we are literally blaming it without any evidence, and I mean zero evidence. And it's just inciting more trouble. And I reckon they've had a talking to from whoever. Maybe Trump has come out and said something, I don't know, and said enough's enough. Also, it is St. George's Day today. I know people don't want to accept that, but it is. It's officially St. George's Day. So I just want to say happy St. George's Day. And it isn't, again, it's not anything new, folks. This is not new. All right. They've been doing it for ever since the Church of England and St. George and all that was inception. I don't know. I'm going back a long time. Obviously, the Church of England only goes back to like 1600, but the Church of England decided to do it, and we're going to respect that. So today is St. George's Day, though no one told the government, because the government was celebrating it on the 23rd. So I know I've posted a little picture of my local church, but I went and took a picture today. They are still flying the flag. Let me just get the picture up for you. So hang on a minute, guys. Do you remember? I love doing this live because it's so much more fun than making a video. Do you remember last week? What did we cover when we looked at the Virginia Jew Frey stuff? Do you remember? This grand climax. Do you remember that? Hang on, just quickly. My church is still flying the flag. Look, for England and for St. George. I love my country. I don't care who has a problem with that. They've actually flew it down as well, look. Not fully half-mast, but I don't care who's got a problem with that, but I love my country. I always will. I don't care what people say. Oh, it's racist. I am indigenous to these isles. And they say I'm not indigenous. Yes, I am. You've got countries in New Zealand that are classed as indigenous, these tribes, and they've only been there for 900 years, but they're indigenous. So how come I'm not indigenous when we've been here? What? England was incepted, what was it, 900 BC? Sorry, AD. So, yeah, I'm indigenous. I know, Church of England's a joke, but there you go. Anyway, yes, the grand climax. The grand climax. It run from the 21st to the 30th. Now, what did I say last week? Keep an eye on next week and keep an eye on the 30th, which is Wednesday. Right? Let's watch this space. If something happens on Wednesday, we've already got this now. Let's just see. All right. Is this all part of this ritual? We've had the Pope dying. We've had Virginia Jew Frey, in my opinion, bumped off. And now this. And this is all in their satanic calendar And then we've got the smiley face moon with Saturn, Satan lined up with Venus. And what's Venus? It's the planet of the woman. Honestly, hi Saskia, everything is the telling stuff, and everything is always linked to something. If you notice, it's not a coincidence, these dates. One day maybe we'll get somewhere. Who's going to be voting? I'll probably do a stream on my new channel on Thursday as well. Not my flag. The St. George is my flag, then that one. I will always be England first. Because do you know that the UK isn't even a country? It's just a conglomerate of countries. It's like a miniature EU. Good night, Linda. Right, guys, I'm going to go because I'm going off on a tangent. When I'm feeling under the weather, I tend to do that even more than normal. The hogs are here now. Oh, my God, I've got some awesome hog footage coming up on my other channel, guys. Oh, my God. Thank you to our channel members, by the way. I've managed to upgrade a second camera to 4K. So big up the channel members. They're on both now. Guys, if you want to join either membership, I'm hoping by next month, at the end of next month, Faraj, I'm gonna cover all of that on my new channel, Pennies for Your Thoughts. I'm gonna be doing a politics special this week. Timmy Pipco has been asking, and I think now we've got the local elections, it's time. And I'm still in two minds who to vote for, but I'm going for Conservative. But I'll give you all my reasons on the other channel. My pleasure, close to 7. Thanks for joining the membership. Thank you to our members. So anyone who wants to join either membership, it's going to be going to a third 4K camera, and that will be on the hedgehogs. This is on the bird bath, but the hedgehogs started using the bird bath. It is so cute. I've got lots of footage coming up for you. Members will get it first again. So members first. Wessex was our name before it was called England. Very true, because that was the last standing region when the Vikings had taken everywhere else. I'll be voted for reform. I was going to vote reform, and I'm a reform member, but I'll talk about it on the other channel. But just quickly, our candidate for reform is an Olympic boxer, a young lad from Hull. And I'm sorry, but we are Hull and East Riding. And anyone from Hull will not give a shit or know anything about the East Riding. That is a rural county. Because they've combined our authorities now to Hull and East Riding. We're going to have, they've got separate councils, but they're going to have one mayor. It's our first ever mayor. And the Conservative candidate is the woman that's been running the council for the last 4 years. And she's local and she's knows what she's doing. Or we've got an ex-Olympic boxer who comes out on stage with Farage and you know, does all the showman stuff. But what's he going to do as a mayor? Let's be realistic. There's no policy there. I'm not voting for them. Sorry. It's local. I'm going to vote for the person, not the party. So, no polling card. You don't need one. I have had a letter come through, but you don't need a card, just ID. Anyway, I will talk about this on my third channel, probably on Thursday, because I might change my mind if I can see some policy behind this guy. I think his name's Luke. I'm not sure. I just don't see any policy of this dude. But I would love to know who you voted for. I think we'll probably do a call-in show, actually, on my spare channel, on my new channel. Yeah, it's about your area, not about the party. Really? This is just for the mayor. This is our first ever mayor. We had no, Nanny, we had no vote on whether we even wanted an elected mayor. When I lived in Birmingham, when Tony Blair first brought this nonsense out about this elected mayor, we actually had a vote on whether we wanted an elected mayor or not. UKIP are dead in the water. It's pointless. All these fringe parties are pointless. UKIP, Heritage Party, Integrity Party, National Housing Party, all these parties, these right-wing fringe parties, are absolutely pointless because they're not going to do anything. They're too small. The right need to unite against one. I'm not a fan of the way that Reform are acting, but we need to just get rid of the main bit first. Do you know what, Jimmy? I don't blame you, mate. How you doing, boy? What's wrong with tube trains? Sorry, I think is it because of the blackouts. Elections were cancelled. Yeah, Farage is pissed about that, isn't he? Anyway, this isn't a politics channel. We'll talk about that on another channel. Not Penny Bunny anymore. That's separate animals. Right, guys. Good night, everybody. Thank you again for joining me. Government, the UK government is to rent out homes for migrants now. It appeals to landlords to host migrants. You could not make this shit up. Honestly, I hate this country right now so much. I love my country, but I hate what it's become under these globalists. I don't mean to moan. I'm in a negative Nelly mood today. Take care, Gina. Yeah, watch this space, guys. Any more? If these hi fairy, bye fairy. If these blackouts spread to other parts of Europe, we'll be talking about it tomorrow night, okay? If not, tomorrow or Wednesday, I'm not sure which day, we're going to be covering the latest on Virginia Giuffre's death and the latest on Gene Hackman. We've got some more body cam footage. Oh, thank you, Bridget. I really appreciate that, darling. I love that. Thank you. Honestly, I really appreciate that. Appreciate you guys. Been with me for years. I don't want to get stuck. No, you don't want to get stuck. Right. Good night, everyone. Been longer one than usual again, but there you go. That's me. Get some cash out. Get some tins. Get stocked up. Grow your own veg if you can. I'm going to be doing a mini series on here. Probably going to do it in videos of natural stuff you can get as well for stuff. So like natural flea stuff, natural herbal remedies. I was always skeptical about holistic and herbal stuff, but it actually does work. And I can prove that because it's working for me. So I think we're going to start looking into that as well, that we don't have to have all these drugs and rely on things like that. We can get it from nature and growing your own stuff. So, yeah. All right. Good night, guys. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it'll be one or the other. All right. Good night, guys. God bless. Lots of love.